Hiya lovelies, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Linz. So I have a bit of an Aldi shop to show you today with prices and also some preps and bits and pieces like that I like to include in my weekly shop. Also, I have visited another store here in Ireland. It's called Super Savers and it's like a discount warehouse. I'll tell you more about that afterwards. I'll show what I got there at the end of the video. So where are we starting off? I'm going to start off with the meat because then I just want to put it into the fridge because it is really warm here today. Despite it being very overcast, it's just very muggy. So just in case you hadn't noticed, I'm not dressed up in a big fleece again like normal. So I bought, to start off with, some of these. These are, am I going to be able to say this right? Frankfurter. So they're basically hot dogs, and they've gone up terribly. They're now €2.09. I think I was paying like $1.25 or something for them before, and then it went to about $1.50 odd. Yeah, nothing seems to be jumping up by a couple of cents or a couple of pence, I suppose, depending on where you are. It's jumping up in 10, 20s. And so, well, that's the way it is here anyway. I bought this because I thought it looked interesting. I wouldn't normally bother with anything like that, but we will give it a go. It is slow cooked Irish pulled pork, barbecue flavour. And as far as I know, I think I've had one from a different sort of brand. It's like a big lump and you kind of slow cook it or you do something with it. And then you can put it into buns or have it as a sandwich filler. So I didn't tell you how much it was. That was $2.99 this week. They're on special offer. I think they're normally $3.99. Now, excuse me. I don't need much meat for my freezer at the moment because over the last couple of months, and this is where the prepping sort of comes into it. No, I'm not one of them, doomsday preppers or have some weird thing that there's going to be a zombie apocalypse or anything like that, but who knows, maybe. When I see meats on either their deals of the week or they have a lovely reduced sticker on them, and providing it's something we will eat, I pick them up. So this week I was lucky enough to get, there is 3, they're quite small, but they're whole chicken legs. Now, they're normally $2.39, 50% off reduced sticker. Love it. Down to $1.19. So I'm really happy with that. Do you know what? I'm just going to leave the camera rolling. So things like that then I will put into bags and things like that. And they will go into the freezer. Now, where am I? Right, some fresh produce. They're offers. They're Super 6. Normally every Aldi and Lidl do them, I think. But for this week in Aldi, I picked up one of these last week as well. But for 49¢, definitely I'm going to have that. What I'm going to do is just clean it off. I chop it up and then I put it into a freezer bag. And it goes in ready then for, we're only in the middle of summer and I'm thinking of winter. That's where my brain's at the minute. Hopefully this is going to be the last potatoes I'll have to buy for a few weeks at least anyway, because I'm hoping that some of my potatoes are going to be ready in the garden. But 1 kg, I normally only buy roosters, okay? They're down to 99¢. So I got 2 of them. Then, and these are my absolute favourite, and I refuse to pay full price for them normally. They're flat peaches. Oh, they're so nice. And this week they're down to $1.29, I think. So I'm going to put one of them into the freezer because they're ripen at home, and then one of them is going to go just on the side, and they won't last long enough to go off, put it that way. Some other random bits. I picked up 2 things of this. It's dog food pate. They're now 300 grams is 75¢. Did I tell you how much the celery was? 49¢. If I didn't, my brain's all over the place. Anyway, jumping back, random lens. I got 2 of them, one in beef and one in lamb. My other little one, which you never see on camera because she's a little princess, she's a Yorkshire Terrier and I can't feed her anything with chicken or turkey or poultry products in because she's allergic. Now, a few of you who have been around for a while are going to be looking at a few things here going, hold on a minute, she ain't got a cat. Huh. Well, no, technically I haven't. He's his own being. I have a feral cat that turned up here about 2 months ago, just random. And where I live, I have not seen a cat in years, and I mean years. So this little raggy thing turned up. I do have a few pictures of him. I think he's quite young. I'll see if I don't get to put them into this video, then I might put them up on a community post. But he was kind of coming and going, and the first time I spotted him, I was just like amazed. Real pretty little thing. I'm not really a cat person normally, but maybe age has kind of done something there to me. I had some leftover roast chicken that I was after doing, and I went out and I put a bit, kind of, he was hiding away in the bushes, and I put a bit out to see would he go and eat it, and he did. And he came back about 2 days later, and I had nothing. So I opened a tin of tuna and gave him some tuna. Then I decided I better buy some food. You know, I'd like to keep him around because where we are, you know, very rural again, we do get things like mice problems and stuff. So I would like to keep him around if I can. Can't get anywhere near him. He'll come maybe about 2 meters close to me, but that's it. So I went anyway and bought some cat food and stuff like that, and I didn't see him then for days. And I thought, oh my, you know, but he's coming now fairly regular every evening, and he'll come and stand where the back door is here, send the dogs completely crazy looking for his dinner. So I picked very long way. I'm sorry, lovelies, but most of you that watch my content like it because, you know, I'm just normal. I'm just normal. I'm just everyday. So I picked up a few of these. As I said, I'm not a cat person. I don't know really what I'm supposed to be doing feeding them wise. I've kind of done a searchy search, and when you see him eat, it's really sad. To go with that then, I picked up some of this complete cat food. I don't know if it's right, but that's what he's been eating for the last couple of months when he appears. This here is $2.39 for a 2 kg bag. So again, it's probably not the best stuff, but it's got to be better than him starving. They were 39 cents each. So, right. I wonder how many comments I'm going to have. Just get on with it. No. There we go. These looked really interesting to me. This is American week here in our Aldi. And I found these. So we have a Louisiana barbecue rub. It says it's a smoking good time, so we'll have to see about that. I'm thinking I might put them on maybe them chicken legs I got. I'm not sure. We'll see. But then another one was this maple glaze. Maple flavoured glaze, American style seasoning. Lip-smackingly good, apparently. Well, I'll be the judge of that one. I know, I'll see. Let's have a see about them. I think they were 69 cents a packet, and the packet is 35 grams, so I don't know. I love Coleman's sauces, and normally they are quite expensive. So I have there the apple sauce and the mint sauce. Now the apple sauce will just be used as it is with like pork and things. Mint sauce, I get 2 jars out of this one, because what I do is I have a separate jar. I put half of this concentrate in, and then I do 3 teaspoons of sugar in each jar and top it up with white distilled vinegar, and then you've got 2 for the price of 1. They were on offer at €1.49 each this week. This is to go in with my preps because I definitely do not need it. It's basmati rice. I only eat basmati rice. Can't stand brown rice. I will eat long grain rice, but I'm just not a fan. The basmati for me is my favourite. And from what I'm told, I'm not sure how true this is, it lasts longer than any other rice. Basmati does. So it's 1 kg, $1.59. So again, it's gone up a bit, but not overly bad. This here It's dilutable squash or dilutable mineral. It's 2 litres, that's 125, plus you pay 25-cent deposit that you get back when you go and shove your empty in the machine. So that's how that works. Don't need this either, but this is going into the cupboard. It's just basically their cheap, well, it's not that cheap anymore, version of tomato ketchup, and it's €1.09. Now, I know quite a few of you that watch are over in America, and your prices are definitely extortionary compared to ours. But I think the reason the likes of me and so many other people that do these type of videos say, oh, the price of this and the price of that, is because we have never, this is the highest our groceries have ever been. And as I said, they haven't just jumped up by a couple of, cents or pence. They've skyrocketed. And I know that my weekly shop now is costing me double what it would have cost me just over a year ago. So, it's not fair on any of us anywhere, but I'm glad I'm not paying American prices. I've got into having some nuts and things like that, especially as a snack in the evening. Very good to keep things moving along, bits and pieces like that. These aren't bad. They're the Essentials range, roasted salted peanuts. And how many's in that? 200 grams, and they're 52-cent. Bargain of the day. Coffee, really cheap. This is a prep as well because I have a good supply of it, but I'm trying to buy one each week when I go shopping to make sure things like that are stocked up. So coffee, my other half, I don't really drink coffee. If I do, I prefer the fresh stuff. It's once in a blue moon. This now is 200 grams. It's gone up from, it was $2.79 2 weeks ago, and now it's $2.99. So there's that bigger jump. Then why couldn't they have just put maybe a cent or something on it instead of that big? It doesn't sound like much, but when you add it all up, it is. Now, here I have, again, these are for preps, really cheap chopped tomatoes, but this is what I call my more everyday pantry, because I cycle through these on a regular. Stuff that I am putting away for longer term use, I do buy a little bit of more expensive brand, because I like the tins that have the white inside for tomatoes because they're very acidic. Now these have changed, same day, but they have now started doing them with the ring pull lid. You either like it or you don't like it. Right, as I said, they're tin tomatoes, 400 grams chopped, and they're 39-cent a can. Not bad, tin. Then again, I don't have these just on their own with sort of like fish and chips. These are to go into recipes, things like chili con carnes and stuff like that, because they're not the best tasting in my experience. They're only 25-cent a can, so they go really well in with things like that. My battery's flashing, isn't it? Yeah, because I've been waffling on so much about the cat and chicken and all sorts. Anyway, these here, again, I love to put these in things like chili con carne and stuff like that when I'm doing big bulk freezer meals. So then it's cooked. I just have to pull some out and reheat it. They are 65-cent a can, I do believe. Yes, so there's 2 of them. These are going in for the preps this week as well. 6 everyday essentials toilet roll, $2.99. I am going to say, if you're someone that shops between Aldi and Lidl, Aldi's cheap toilet roll is a lot better than Lidl's. It's softer. There's that. Now, this here, big snack pack. Okay, I don't really bother, to be honest. They've come down in price and they are now only $2.79 for 18 bags. So I think, apart from the stuff I bought to bulk shop type things, that's it for now. So I am just going to go and put this away, change the battery before, it dies on me. And then I will show you just a few wee bits I got in a shop called Super Savers. Right, so I've kind of not really put any of that away, just thrown it in different places, apart from stuff that needs to go in the cupboards, of course. I go to a shop here called Super Savers, mainly for sugar and mainly for my tea bags. I'm very very fussy with the tea I drink, and I drink an awful lot of tea. Now, for me to go and buy one of these boxes in the supermarket at the moment, I think they're around €9. You get 210 Lion's tea bags in there. Now, they were $5.99 last week, and I'm kicking myself that I didn't pick up a few more boxes because they have jumped up a whole euro. So this is where my savings come in. So I have there now 420 tea bags. Believe it or not, that won't actually last me very long. But I have another 2 boxes out on a shelf that I call sort of like the emergency shelf. Something very random. I needed some sort of a big writing pad, okay? And I found this 250 pages for £1.99. Now, the cheapest I've seen of anything along them lines is like nearly €5. So I was happy with that. Oh, it's very random, this. I managed to get some black treacle, and my days am I excited to see this. I haven't seen this in years. And this, as I said, this shop here, they're normally branded stuff at kind of cheap shop prices. So this was only £1.79. And one of you's lovelies, well, depending on whether you're watching this, I suppose, told me recently that you use the black treacle in the ginger cake recipe instead of brown sugar, or half brown sugar and half treacle. So I want to try that. Now, the best before date on it, I was quite surprised, says like June of next year. I thought stuff like that just lasted a bit like honey. If you know, let me know down in the comments. Something I don't really buy, okay, is boil in the bag rice. But I especially do not buy cheap boil in the bag rice. I've kind of got it to a T now with my Instant Pot that I can get the rice basically right first time. If not, it might be a bit sticky, but it's fine. I found this, and this is Tilda, and this is the best rice, in my opinion, for basmati you can get. Now, expensive in a way, but I'm going to pop this away. This is just going to be a treat for myself when I'm cooking a separate meal than my other half wants. So £1.99. There's 4 bags in there. They are quite small, but yeah. This is where my biggest saving really comes into play. Here I have 20 kgs of white granulated sugar. So basically there's 10 1 kg bags in each one of these. See that? Each one of them. It's no it isn't, €14.90. €14.90 is the price for this. Now, if I was to even buy them individually in Lidl, they're £1.69 a pack. So to my working, that works out as a €2 saving. Doesn't sound like much, does it? But if you think I'm after getting 3 chicken legs, I know they were reduced for £1.19. That €2 can go an awful lot more into a few tins for the press, or the stock up pantry. It can do a lot more, and it's better in my pocket than it is in the shops. Another thing is, I have found lately that Aldi and Lidl sugar tastes a bit like artificial sweetener, and it's quite powdery, and I just really do not like it. So excuse me, that is it. Oh my days, this is probably the longest grocery haul video I've ever done. But like, I did get distracted with the cat and everything like that. But as I said, lovelies, as I always say, thank you so much for spending time with me. It really does mean the world. I love you all to bits. You're all absolutely amazing, especially to those that have stuck true, and when there's not been a video, and you're just always there just to cheer me on and carry me through. And I just really, really, really appreciate that. So wherever you are, you make sure you have an absolutely fantastic day. I will talk to you all down in the comments or over on another video. But bye for now.